The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Fream, and thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. It's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 96. You can also contact us with questions or comments on Twitter, at Z2Z, ZEDTOZED, over at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or you can email us directly, contact@z2z.com. Well, I'm not actually on the show this week. I spent the entire week weekend going nuts on my basement. It feels such a sense of accomplishment in having cleaned this monstrosity. We've got some appraiser coming in to take a look at the place, so it has to look spick and span, but that means I could not spare any time for the podcast with everybody else, but we managed to get a wonderful collection of hosts. I will let them introduce themselves right now, and I'll talk to you guys at the end of the show for some contest winners and a little bit of roundup. We'll talk to you guys soon. Here you go. Randy, take it away.
All right. I'm your host this week. Thanks for that intro, Freem. It's going to be a monotone week full of rain and rainy clouds. We even got some rainy stuff to talk about, but here we are. We've got a full house, full show. There's 4 of us this week, hosted by me. So we've got regular guest Smrnov, Steven, joining us again. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
We're here with Damien on the main show this week. You know, he's always in the show on Reviews Ed, but now he's here in the real show because we can record at normal human times this week. Welcome,
yeah,
Damien.
I know. Thanks.
And new guest, we have Joe, known as CollKidJoe, who owns many Xbox games. Welcome to the show.
Gracias.
I thought you were going to say PlayStation games.
No PlayStation here. That's a bad word. I'm going to have to bleep that out with the achievement noise. Making all this work for me, Damien.
I know.
So we're probably going to have a shorter show than usual this week. We got some stuff to talk about, though, and we'll see where it goes. So, Joe, since your first time on the show, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what you play on Xbox?
Well, my gamer tag is CollKidJoe on Xbox, and I guess it's that on Steam and PlayStation as well, and on the Switch or whatever, but that has like friend codes and it's weird. But I actually have a complete library of Xbox 360 games that are released physically, and I have an almost or complete Xbox One library as well. I'm not sure if something's like come out in Europe that I don't have or whatever. I might be missing like 1 or 2 that I'm not sure about, or it's just coming out here. But yeah,
effectively complete.
Wait, does that mean he has that Korean game you've been looking for, Randy?
Which one?
I don't remember.
Yes.
Which one?
Superstar Karaoke, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking for the box, not the game. But
Oh, the box? I'll send you the box. I don't care.
Oh, I mean, if you want to send me the box, I will gladly accept the box.
What's in the box? What's in
the box?
Do you have the mic too?
Yeah, but it's just like a normal USB mic, I think.
Yeah,
Or
but I
it
mean,
might
you gotta
say
have the
Konami on
complete.
it.
You gotta have the complete collection if you're gonna have the box. Yeah, the box is cool. Anyway, so we were talking a little bit before the show, and we got into. So you're from Connecticut, and
Yes.
we got talking about Jerry Springer. So you have a story about Jerry Springer that is related to video games. So
Just a little bit.
We're gonna tell it on the podcast.
So it was maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, I think I went. It's been a while. But I went to a taping of the Springer Show, which is definitely an experience. Like, especially if you're in the New York City, like Connecticut, like area or whatever, definitely worth a trip, because I mean, just it's a disaster. But anyways, I remember they brought out this guy, and he looked kind of like dorky, like, and he's just sitting in the chair, and then he like tells his girlfriend like he plays like way too much World of Warcraft, and she promptly did like the worst. He's sitting in the chair, and she promptly did the worst like shove over, like she shoved him while he was in the chair, and he just like he backflipped like out of it. It was awful. Like it looks so fake. But
so not worst as in brute, like bad. It was
no,
just,
it wasn't that.
It was
bad.
just obviously fake.
It looked so like animated and like stiff.
I was
like
going
the
to say,
way
so
she
unlike
shoved
wrestling.
him. Kinda, yeah. Like it looks like, you know, like you're just like sitting in a chair and she just like shoved him and he just like fell back and rolled over and he just stood up like a doofus. And
Wait, was it LeBron James?
no,
Oh my gosh, technical foul.
no, he just stood up and like just didn't. He didn't know what to do. But if you're ever in the area, I would definitely recommend going to one of those shows because it's definitely an experience.
I've been wanting to go to Maury for years. Like before I moved to the US, I wanted to go to Maury because I love Maury. I don't ever get to watch it because I don't have cable and it's not streamed anywhere, and I'm never at home when it's on.
It's
but
not
if
on
I ever
cable, though. I thought it's like on channel 5 or 7.
I mean, you have to have some cable. I mean, I don't have anything. It wasn't even on my free cable because I would have watched it when I was unemployed if it was.
Did you see that Barstool Sports thing of that dude that caddied for him?
For who, Maury?
Yeah, his golf clubs
No.
literally say "You are not the father" on them.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, with that, let's get into what we've been playing this week. And I don't remember if I've mentioned on the show before, but I'm a big fan of Maury. It's one of my favorite shows. I think I just said that. Anyway, on to what we've been playing. Damien, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, well, you know, there's
wins of the week as well.
Well, I guess wins of the week. We could start with that. I guess most of my wins would be about what I'm going to cover in Reviews Ed. I mean, do we want to do that now, or do we want to wait?
Which we're moving this week. New trial place is we're going to start putting Reviews Ed in what we've been playing.
So wait, hold on. I could think about this, but I kind of have to get there. So unfortunately, you are too young to remember Wayne's World, Randy. So I guess Steven, you can you help me segue here? As in a good
There we go.
Z to Z Podcast presents Review Z.
Review Z part time.
Excellent. Whoa.
Wild reviewers.
Dude. What's up, Warren?
What's up, Wayne? I mean, Spazpole?
Dude, where'd you get here? It was like just a second ago I was in the main show. Whoa. Trippy. Actually, I think I sound more like a stoner than I do Wayne. It's been too many
I'm
years.
pretty sure Wayne was a stoner, so I guess we're okay.
That's true. Both of them.
Oh, yeah, and Garth, of course.
Ironically, I am also in the basement of my house, but it is not my mother's home. It was Wayne's parents' house, right?
I want to say yes. I haven't seen that in years, though.
Oh, God. I remember the first one. What was it? Who was it? Tia Carrera? Was the love interest?
Yes. I want to say yes.
That was great. All right. So this week on Review Z, we got, and some other 80s greatness, Danger Zone. That was the Kenny Loggins.
Theme song to the Top Gun, man.
Was that Kenny Loggins? Kenny Loggins, right?
Kenny Loggins.
Fly right to the danger zone. Yeah. It's great. Actually, we're not going to review anything this week. We're just going to sing and talk about movies.
Oof.
No, so this is going to be bad. All right, so we got Danger Zone this week, which was published and developed by Three Fields Entertainment. This was released on October 10th. Wow, so we are actually reviewing this one really timely. And it was released to Xbox One with an Xbox Live store price of $14.99. And genre vote on TA right now has it as an arcade racer. That's not miscategorized.
Yeah, something about having a missing finish line in every level.
Yeah, and I think even the description on Xbox, if you read it like on the dashboard, it says a puzzle game, which I don't know if puzzle is really
Action. It's a straight action game.
Yeah. So describe to the listeners at home what they're in store for with this.
All right, you get to weave your car between other cars and then repeatedly blow things up. It's amazing.
Yeah, it reminds me of Crash Test Dummies, but you don't get to see the dummy, which is you.
It reminds me of Burnout Crash, a lot.
I was one of those. I never played Burnout Crash.
Yeah, it's basically the same idea. You're given an intersection, and you have to go and crash into it, kind of like bowling. Use your car and smash into stuff.
Mayhem 3D.
Mayhem, exactly. Oh God, that game.
Yeah, but this is if Mayhem. But I like how this game was done. So the whole point, you get, what is it, eight simulations over 4 tiers. So you get about 32 simulations that you get to go through, and you basically, based on how much money damage you cause, you can either get a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum medal. And the gold, I guess you want to get at least bronze on every level because you have to get a bronze to advance to the next level to get through the tiers. But by the end, you'll have to, or eventually go back and you have to get up to 10 platinum medals on 10 separate levels. Not undoable, but it's not going to be something that probably comes unless you're semi-grinding it.
Agreed. You might have some amazing luck on your initial playthrough, but this is definitely a game where luck plays an enormous role in how long this is going to take you. There's so many different things that are influenced by just sheer luck. Whether the cars are going to drive the same way at you that they were the previous attempt, whether you bounce the same, just so much happens differently on every single run.
That's true. But what I would say is, even though it differs, so it's, yes, there's a lot of repeating, I found the game actually, you picked this one, so wasn't a platformer, but I found this game just really, it's like any of those good, almost like that platformer in the sense when you're trying to get that perfect run in and you're like, I'll do it one more time, like, oh, almost got that in mind. Okay, I'll do it one more time, and it was fun. It was fun to go through and do it.
Oh, totally agree. I've sunk way too many hours into this. I'm playing this at 4 o'clock in the morning because I got this. I just need to hit that right there. If I can do that, I got platinum. And I don't know how many times I would continue to keep trying it, even though I had no hope.
Yeah, I think, eventually what I would do is I'd try to juggle some other stuff going on. And I got maybe 3 platinums through 3 or 4 through regular gameplay towards the end. So I went back and just kind of went through World 1, and you've seen matching up the scores. Just like it, what I do like about the leaderboard on this is you have you can go switch between who's around you, top scores, or if you have friends that have played this, you can go and play against your friends' scores, which it's always nice to sit there, either A, have a worldwide ranking that gets you in the top 20, or hey, at least I beat all my friends.
For some reason, I can only get the worldwide board to load for me. Whenever I choose anything else, it just sits there and spins.
Yeah, it would eventually load for me, but it takes a little bit of retry, and then it would.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just didn't wait long enough on it.
Got to be patient, my son. Patience.
I will learn, Sensei. I will learn.
Yeah, so I mean, the controls are. I guess if I was going to have a complaint, I think graphics-wise, it looks good. It's smooth. It's not like the exploding part and everything's really responsive. My only complaint, because for those who obviously haven't played, which is probably going to be most of you, once you explode your car and you do, what is it called? A smash? Yeah, smash breaker. You can no longer drive forward. You have to hold your thumbstick kind of forward or in whichever direction you want your car to propel through explosion, which is fine. But if you suddenly are going forward and you get the metal and maybe another smash, what is it? Smash what? Smash breaker. Yeah. You can explode again. Basically, you have to have a smash breaker in your inventory allowing you to explode. But you might suddenly be going forward and then you have to go a hard 90 degrees the other direction. So switching the camera on some of the later levels, like that tic-tac-toe one, because you had to go forward for like 3 levels and then suddenly 180 at the back way, you have to swing the camera around, which makes it, if you're sometimes trying to go, I think the coin is right under me, and it turns out like, no, it was maybe 2 car lengths behind you, but because you can't quickly get that camera around, you end up doing some things over a bunch of times because you really can't quite see what you're trying to do.
Maybe to help explain that a little better, too, you can actually stop, land the car, and take the time to move your camera, but traffic will continue to drive at the same time, so the object is to cause as much damage as possible. So although you technically can stop, take your time, and move the camera, you're kind of limited by time. You're forced to keep going quick as possible, which is why, yes, this control scheme does lend itself to a little bit of difficulty when you're trying to make those quick turns.
So, I mean, but having gone through the game and finished it, got all the achievements, it's definitely one where you can work around with it. It would have made it probably go a little bit faster, but at the end of the day, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't render the game unplayable. Yeah.
No, not at all. You're just going to come down to personal preference for like which levels you have a better feel of, which levels you can get the idea of the path, because it's basically what you need to do is collect your bronze score pickups, some silver score pickups, and then once you do those in order, a gold score pickup will, actually I guess once you do it no matter what, a gold pickup will come up. If you do it in order, bronze, 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 silver, silver, then the gold, you get an extra 5 million points, which is almost necessary to get your platinum. I'm sure you can probably do it with an absolutely perfect run on some of the levels without, but for all intents and purposes, that's going to be required for every single platinum run.
In terms of achievements, I guess for those GTAS gamers out there saying, is this preloadable? I would say no, because really you'd have to, because you get an achievement for completing each tier, you would have to literally go through all of the levels except for one, meaning you'll get the tier 1, 2, 3 an achievement. You're going to get the 15 smash breaker multiplier. You'll probably get, because some of those ones you had to get you had to get far enough along just to even almost get that the pickup of the gold coin to get the extra 5 million just to even make it past that level.
Exactly. So basically, were you to try to save achievements, you could save the tier 4 achievement, you could save the score medal on every simulation because that pops when you complete tier 4, and you could save the one for getting 10 platinums. However, you're going to have to put in a serious amount of effort in the process and keep manual track because this game does not have achievement tracking.
Yeah, but you can check on TA. That's how I knew how many platinums I had, because I just went on site and it said, you have 9 platinums. I'm like, oh, okay, I just had to get one more. So... yeah, it's interesting. The Xbox feed to TA works fine, but yeah, there's no game tracker, which is kind of annoying. But I was like, again, some minor from an ID title, just some minor things that were. Well, actually, is this an ID?
This is actually not listed as ID on TA. Yeah. I don't think it is.
Okay, so it's not an ID title. I guess it's just a really low cost regular title. But I mean, overall, I recommend this game. I even think the $15 price point was fair.
Oh yeah, I agree. For the amount of replay in this game, especially that whole, they nailed the just one more. Like, you'll sit there and be like, no, I can get this, and you'll spend an hour on it.
Yeah.
So that they have totally nailed the just one more. Replayability is awesome because they've got the whole leaderboards with your scores. It's like, okay, I'm gonna beat my buddies, and you go set out and I'm number 1 now. All right, and you can just kind of keep going like that if you want. It's one of those games that encourages you to replay. So it's not like it's grindy that you have to replay these levels for platinum. It's actually really fun. It's enjoyable. You're blowing up cars and buses and trucks. How do you go wrong with that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we both agree. Just this is one of the few times I've come through and said, yeah, straight up as it is, $15, fair price. I will point out that on the biggest crash right now, I am beating you literally by. My highest crash is 23,961,150. You're 23,892,000. So just remember, I'm always about 69,000 points better than you.
Well, I still have some platinums to get, so you might want to double check those scores later.
Let's see. All right. Is there anything else for our listeners?
I guess the only thing I have left to say is be excellent to each other.
Wait. That's Bill and Ted. That's a completely different movie there.
Well, no, it's kind of where we started at the beginning.
Was it?
No, that's Bill and Ted. Wait, wow, never mind. I'll go back to the 80s. I'll come back.
It's like one of those real Garth moments. You sit there.
You're like, wait a minute. Now I am totally embodying these guys. I am like out of my mind now. But anyways, definitely still be excellent to each other because it's a good idea.
Stairway. All right. Till next week. Party on, Warren.
Party on, Spaz.
All right. Go back to the regular show. Whoa, that was a trip, man. Where'd Warren go? So, assuming what I'm going to say in a few days, so a lot of Danger Zone, which is it's pretty. I let Warren pick, as I said. So that was fun. Other than that, I've been working on, I guess. Since when was the last time I was on the main show? It was actually, I think, the last time Steven was on. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a very busy week because I guess my biggest wins of the week, outside of doing reviews and stuff, has been, popcorn kerneling. So if I haven't hit you up about my son's fundraiser for Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, that's what I've been doing, dad stuff. So that's my win of the week.
That's very responsible of you.
I know. And if anybody wants to help my son with his Cub Scout, because actually, so all the money he's earning, so if he does online sales, he gets 5% back as an Amazon gift card. And then like 50% of the money goes to our unit, so to pay for camping trips. So he's going to buy a Switch. He wants to buy a Switch with his own money. So if you want to help my son not get into Xbox and get some tasty popcorn, we'll post the link in the show notes, but that's it for me.
I'll probably grab some after.
All right.
My sister's soup has this weird popcorn fetish where she eats way more than she should. But
Fetish? I don't know if I really want you to be a fetish.
No, I have to every time I go to the grocery store, I have to get her some. So she just hounds it. I don't know how to explain it, but she just eats a disgusting amount of popcorn. So
I will tell you, the sea salt caramel is quite tasty.
That's the customer you need, Damien.
I know. So
we'll buy popcorn all year
round. Here, I'll put the link right here in the Skype as well. I'll post on the show notes for everybody else. Remember, you're helping my son. Go the way of Nintendo.
How old is he?
9.
Yeah, he's old enough to make his own decisions.
Yeah, exactly. He does play Plants vs. Zombie. He does have his own Xbox gamer tag. He already told us early in the show's infancy he hates the Z to Z. Hates the talking.
Yellow Lego Guy's review hating the podcast.
Yeah. You guys are boring. You talk too much. And he likes Roblox. I still don't get that stuff.
Yeah.
Ew.
I don't get how anyone likes that game.
Roblox, Terraria, Minecraft, And then, tablet games. But he wants to Switch, but he won't get Breath of the Wild. I don't know.
You have to get that.
I'm going to have to. It's Zelda.
Yeah.
That some reviews leaked for the Mario Odyssey game. It's getting perfect scores, so...
You know what I was really excited for? Mario versus Rabbids, or Mario with that I thought was like, oh man, that is so awesome. Because I
wanted to not like it, or like the look of it, but it did look really good. It looked like a good crossover.
Well, and it's a turn-based combat too, right? Which I'm a sucker for turn-based games.
Yeah,
I think that's the best-selling third-party game too for the Switch right now. I mean, not much.
Isn't it like the only third-party game?
No, they have a couple RPGs and stuff like that, like Cave Story and Disgaea 5 and Bomberman, but
it's a third-party game with Mario, so it's kind of treading water
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Rare. It was kind of Nintendo, kind of wasn't. Yeah. So, how about you, Steven? What have you been playing this week?
Well, quite a few games. Mostly, actually, play-wise, I've been trying to grind out coins in AHL. I mean, I knocked off 6 or so games. With them, Bold Boy, Jet Marrow, Hero of the Universe. I finished off Hitchhiker and Ark Survival Evolved again.
Oh yeah, that one got fixed this week, didn't it?
Yeah. You can still use cheat commands too, so all
nice. Good. How long does that take to complete?
If you're starting from scratch, or if you're just getting the last one?
If you're starting from scratch.
It actually takes quite a bit. You have to warp around to all the collectible spots and kind of move around a bit. I mean, it's not difficult to complete, but it does take a couple hours. If you don't have a chat pad, even longer. Might work with, I think some people said you can connect with the Xbox app and then...
Yeah, that's what I did.
Paste it in.
Yeah.
But,
just copy and paste over and over again, and it's real easy.
Yeah. I use the chat pad, but I was also kind of doing it here and there, right? I didn't do it all in one sitting. That's kind of how I play, but... yeah. So, for my win of the week, I am mortgage-free. I made my last mortgage payment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, that's my happy dance times. So
more money for games.
Well, yeah,
that is a huge thing. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats, man.
Champagne pop.
Yeah,
there you go.
They actually sent a very nice letter, so I was going to actually maybe plaque mount it or something.
Frame it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So.
Wait, your bank sent you a mortgage?
Yeah, they actually said, "Hey, we're done." They said, you had like $1 payment left over or something, so we just put it onto this one and. Congratulations and stuff. So yeah,
nice. That's pretty cool.
It's really just a thank you for not screwing us over and making us resell the house.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. I've been at this is actually my first house as well. I've only owned one home, so kind of part of it. So.
Now you're ready to buy a second one to rent out.
Yeah, there you go.
make a whole bunch of extra
Airbnb.
money.
That's right.
So my win of the week, I have a cool win of the week too. I passed my securities license exam today, so pretty soon I will be able to sell mutual funds at work. So that was cool. I was a little nervous about it.
Which section one is that?
Series 6.
Series 6, sir.
Yeah, Series 6. I can't sell stocks. I thought I could sell stocks, but I can't sell stocks. That one's like... My coworker was telling me that's like a 6-hour exam or something to sell the Series 7, to sell stocks. Crazy. Series 6, it was like 2.5 hours. I was really worried mid-test because I wasn't sure. And then... I ended up getting 88%, so I was pretty happy about that.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And
so does this mean I can come to you now with questions about Morningstar ratings and whatnot, and you can just tell me now off the top of your head? Oh, awesome.
I mean, I could do that already.
Yeah, no.
I mean, no, I couldn't. I definitely didn't ever look at those things at work. Ever.
Now you can legally charge me for it.
Yes, that's true. That I can do. Well, I have to notify my employer first, but I don't think they can prevent me from charging you money for that advice.
Oh.
And I've been making progress on my super easy games challenge. I played so many Neo Geo games that were all terrible. That's not true. They weren't all terrible.
Most
I
are.
played, yeah, most of them are pretty bad. Actually, this week I didn't just play fighting games that were all like the same game with cheating AI. So it's a little bit better. I played Overtop, which is a top-down racing game. It wasn't terrible. I quite enjoyed the soundtrack. I mean, as much as you could enjoy a Neo Geo arcade game soundtrack, I suppose. I played a little bit of Killer Instinct while I was editing the podcast this week. I played Metal Slug, which was actually the best Neo Geo game I've played so far because it was like a perfect emulation of Metal Slug, which is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
So that one was a lot of fun.
Was it Metal Slug 1, 2, or 3?
Metal Slug 1. I think they have 2 and X, maybe 3 as well, but I don't have access to those. Oh, okay. I might buy them. I'm not sure. We'll see.
They were great games.
Yeah, the Metal Slug games are awesome. I used to play them in the arcade all the time, too. They're so fun. I played Nom 1975, which is a really clunky game. It's not a terrible game, but it takes a lot of getting used to. It's like a kind of like a rail shooter and kind of like a run and gun. I don't think I've ever played a game quite like it. It's not really, doesn't really work, but the emulation was fine. It worked okay. A little tough. That one's like 1.5 hour game. I mean, you could do it in 15 minutes, just like any of them, but that assumes you know how to play the game. Don't Knock Twice is a very bad walking simulator that is a movie tie-in, apparently.
Is there a movie for that?
Yeah, it was based on a movie. There was some like obscure European release or something, and then it got a game. It's really weird. Easy, though.
Yeah, I knew it was European. Well,
yeah.
There's a lot of things in there that make you think it was not developed in North America, but I didn't know it was a movie tie-in.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a movie tie-in. Yeah, but it came out like 2 months after the movie or something, which is weird. So I don't know. It must have got delayed in development or something. But yeah, it's clunky and not very good. ACA Neo Geo Fatal Fury Special. This is the only Neo Geo game I haven't been able to complete because the AI cheats. This is like the cheatingest AI ever. So much so that when I was looking up how to beat the AI, there were like forum posts from 2001 talking about how the AI cheats and reads your moves, and like you basically can't beat the game on hard because it cheats.
You just need the lucky run on most of the ones that are like that, where you hit the wall and you hit the wall, and then finally just one time the guy doesn't block anymore and you can just tear him up. That's what I found with most of those ones.
And I think I will be able to complete it, but right now it's going to take too long for what the Gamerscore is worth for my time challenge. So I let it be for now. I got 720 points out of it, and I'll come back to it afterwards. Blues Journey, which was an arcade platformer. I don't think I've ever played one of those before. It was fine. It was okay. Kind of clunky. Not super great, but not terrible either. Nice and quick, though. It was like 45 minutes. Planet of the Eyes, which is a very simple platformer. The graphics are really cool, but it's short. Again, like an hour-ish. Not terrible. I enjoyed it for what it was. It didn't overstay its welcome or anything. Alpha Mission 2, which is a shoot-'em-up. That one was pretty good. I didn't experience any emulator issues. A little bit harder than the others. Still not terrible. But it was actually fun working on it, so that was a plus. Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors, super easy. That was like a 30-minute game. There's one enemy that you can perfect every single time, like almost 100% of the time, because he doesn't block. So you can just kind of get him in a loop and just perfect every time. And then you can beat a second controller for the other score achievements. And then up until I forgot to eat dinner and then came downstairs to start getting ready for the podcast, I played Neo Geo Last Resort, which is another shoot-'em-up. This is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, not a top-down shoot-'em-up. And it's pretty tough. again, it's going to be doable. It's just the same thing of getting the right run. I got really close a couple of times, but it's I'd say it takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot more enjoyable than the fighting games. So that was my long list of things I've played this week, and I might be on pace to get my 50K. It's going to be close. I'm at just a little bit over 25, and I've got, what do we have, 9 days to go? So I've got this weekend, next week, and then next weekend, and then Sunday is the last day. So we'll see. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. What do you guys think the scores are gonna end up being?
Well, like I said, I think the people who came in with the new tags are going to just get hundreds of thousands of Gamerscore, but I don't know how many of them did it, right?
You think it's going to go that high?
Well,
over 100?
I would think so. I mean, there's people who've done more in that period, but especially because these are people restarting tags who already know how to score, right? If it was just your, hey,
you could register a new tag?
People did, apparently. So,
you can, yeah. There's nothing in the rules saying you can't.
Yeah,
that's extra lame.
And let's face it, you've gone to work, right? You've worked 40
that's
hours.
true.
That's 40 hours. That's somebody.
I work 40 hours a week, and then
if this is all you're gonna do, there will people like, there goes my vacation, and I don't have only responsibility.
Well, I work 40 hours a week. I edit the podcast. That's usually 2 nights a week. I make dinner most nights.
You really just shouldn't have tried.
Hey, but all that being said, I might not hit 50, but I'm definitely on track to hit 40. I'll hit 40 for sure.
Well, and I think it was a nice competition for them to do. Xbox Canada.
Yeah, I agree.
Props to them for doing something about it, with it, even if it's, not knowing how the system works, that people are just going to game it and, fire up something.
Yeah, I don't think they had any idea what kind of scores people were going to put up. Because, I was thinking 50. I thought 50 would have been plausible to be in the top 5, but I expected somebody to put up, like, in the 70s for sure. Even with a not new tag. But I think it'll be interesting if they release. I would hope they release the final numbers. It's going to be kind of eye-opening for a lot of more casual people that don't see the big scorers ever. People that think, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put up a few thousand points, and that'll be
good enough." Yeah,
that'll be it. I'm winning for sure.
Yeah,
so.
This will be some people's first introduction to, like, oh yeah, I occasionally smoke a little reefer, going, oh, this is what heroin and fentanyl is all about. Yeah.
Yeah. You put up with the crazy scorers.
Yeah, they're like, oh, 50,000 in a few weeks. That's cute.
Yeah. Well, I know, because that's the thing too. Because that's a lot of points, even for big scorers. That's a lot of points. But when you have a competition like this, it brings out the real big scorers.
How long have you been on TA? Look at UHH. Or not UHH.
Oh yeah,
Leapfrog, where you go like, oh, you have to have 8 achievements above 8.0. How many people can be here? 9.
Yeah.
Really?
and then even to the point, it's like you get like 3 or 4 people getting like 5 achievements over 10 for like 4 days. It's crazy. Like, I remember when getting a 10 ratio achievement was like
special.
Yeah, exactly. It was a big deal when an achievement was over 10. It still is. They're not common by any means. They're just a lot easier to get than they used to be.
Especially in the free to plays.
Yeah. I think that's really kind of what it comes down to. You have games like the free-to-plays and the kind of collection games, like, I guess Killer Instinct's not a collection, but it's a game with so many achievements that not everybody necessarily owns the entire game. Yeah. And then you have collections like Rare Replay, where you're going to have some people that just play 3 games and then don't ever play it again because that's all they wanted to play on it.
Oh, like me, who just like started up every game and got the achievement for that, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's true with Rare Replay as well. There's a lot of press start to get free achievements. So today in the Discord chat, there's something funny kind of going on. I guess it was, I think Fream posted it, that that Smrnov was going to be on the podcast tonight. So some of our listeners were looking at completions that I have that Smrnov doesn't. And the lists were very small.
Probably some of the.
And I'm not sure.
Is there a way to do that?
Instrument
Like,
ones,
do I
right?
just click on you and just go?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they were doing it, if it was by hand, because I was just going to do the same thing and check.
There's some compare gamer stuff you can do on TA, but I think you have to.
I think
pick
it
the
almost you had to
gamer
use
tag
that.
and- yeah.
Or what was it? The Grease Monkey script that Tarragon made years ago for. Anybody remember the King of Completions tournament?
Oh, yes. I think that was it. I think that's what they were doing.
Oh, okay.
And that's a good transition into Skeptical Mario brought up whatever happened at the King of Completions competition.
I was putting it. Go ahead.
Because I remember seeing that, and I thought it was a cool idea, but also at the same time realized it will never end, ever. Because someone's just going to get a completion that the other person can't get, and vice versa, and then they're just going to be locked there forever.
Hey, I gave the $20 a month winner prices for a whole year that I committed to doing.
Yeah,
so.
that's what someone was saying, that you were giving out monthly prizes. But didn't the guy who started it want to give away like $2,000?
Yeah,
or something?
he had a
was
really
his-
big. Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
changed his gamer tag. I'm trying to go because it used to be one of my threads, so I'm like trying to find where it was because I used to put something like once a month going. Is this thing still going on?
And so, did anybody end up getting eliminated?
No.
No.
No, not a single
Not a
person.
person did it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I would have thought at least one person would have. I just thought it was funny that was brought up because like I remember that was everywhere for like 2 months, and then I guess everyone just realized it was. How did it? Do you remember how it ended?
Well, somebody would have
Or-
had to more or less. You mean the actual competition?
But I mean, just like the buzz and anybody paying any attention to it, did it just kind of fizzle out, or did something?
Oh, here
happen?
it is. So I found the King of Completions tournament thread. I should throw this into the Skype. So the last post, we have one actually from December 23rd. Prey of May or whatever. Oh, Prey. Oh, the May. Where you had to announce your prey. Yeah, and I was being hunted by a planting all the time. Who was I hunting? I think we were like, yeah, but you had to announce your prey every month, and yeah, I think it just eventually. Yeah, we were talking in December of 2015 about maybe doing another contest, but I was like, here's an idea. I'm not going to run it, and I guess that's when I first started talking to Tarragon. And yeah, we decided this was a lot of work. Never mind.
Yeah. So I thought it was funny that was brought up in chat because I kind of forgot about it until that. I just remember thinking it was kind of funny. And then other things that was kind of some feedback and kind of some news. I've kind of got not quite as organized as Fream getting this stuff. I'm not quite as good at hosting. Quick on my hosting words and reflexes, but it's been in the gaming news this week and kind of recently is loot boxes in everything, and people are upset about it. I'm proud of them for being upset about it, but it's not going to fix anything because people are still going to buy them. We all know this, I think. Does anybody disagree with me that people are still going to buy these loot boxes?
No.
So wait, what's wrong with loot box? I guess I'm missing what other than I just think loot boxes in general are a waste of money over time, but whatever.
Well, it's adding free to play to a game you've already paid for is kind of the core issue a lot of people have with it, right? Premium.
Free to play.
The concept, yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's like
and free to play. It's getting to the point now too where they're no longer just cosmetic; is they directly affect gameplay. Like the one that really had a lot of outrage was it being realized that Star Wars Battlefront 2, the new Star Wars Battlefront 2, obviously, is going to have loot boxes, and that's the only way to get new weapons and perks and upgrades. So that you have a leveling system, but the leveling system doesn't unlock anything. It just gives you more loot boxes, and you hope you pull what you need from the loot boxes. And it was just very, very blatantly pay to win already in the beta. So a lot of outrage with that. What do you guys think? You think that I mean, I think everybody on the podcast knows where I stand with these kind of things, and I hate them, and I think they're a plague. So, what do you guys think? And I guess I should say too, the other games that had them were Shadow of War that just came out, obviously Overwatch, Battlefront 2, and I think PUBG is getting them or has them. But the big two that are kind of really in the spotlight right now are Star Wars and Shadow of War.
Yeah, so my opinion on, and I think this segues into, topic that's been coming up a lot in the last few shows, and the devaluation of games, right? We see nowadays, the flood of the market. People aren't making $60 on game titles, and they can't, have a high retail value with a large amount of adoption in early stages like it used to. So honestly, companies to stay a bit, I mean, for a lot of the bigger companies, it's like, okay, well, like you're EA, you still got to turn a profit. You're not going to suddenly start, well, okay, I guess we just got to accept that we're not going to make the money we used to. Shareholders don't like that. So they're going, okay, find a new way to make money that works. That's, if you can't sell the games for $60 a title and make it for that long, where are you going to get the money? Put in these types of things. You got to buy, like, either you get like rarer drops, and you can go and say, okay, you will get one drop every so often, or if you pay more, that's it. And at some point, it's like, okay, well, how do you force people to pay for it? Okay, we'll make that the only way they can do it. And I mean, for them, at the end of the day, if it's what recoups the revenue, the people that they're going to lose that wouldn't spend the money anyway is almost to them like, whatever. They weren't going to make us money, so if they're not paying in, fine. It's kind of unfortunate, but I think that's the way the industry goes. So it's either, the only way, in my opinion, to kind of combat that is just you can't participate in it. Make it to where it's not a viable way to make games profitable. But, that's just my opinion.
And I mean, we know that people that buy games like to say they're not going to buy things and then buy them a week later.
Or when it goes on sale.
Or what?
When it goes on sale.
Yeah. Or not.
Well, how much did somebody say they spent on War Planet to be the first person to complete it on TA?
It's like $80. Yeah. $80 on that game.
To be first.
And that game isn't even that excessive of a time sink. I mean, I think realistically, like, even if you didn't have a good faction helping you, you could realistically finish that game in like 20 hours of playtime.
Oh yeah, it's just waiting. It's
just build and wait. But man, $80.
You knew someone was going to do it.
Oh, of course. I mean, somebody always does it. But that's a lot. I don't know.
Steven, how much would you spend to finish a game like that?
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll spend on, for most part, on games is things that are permanent. So, like, a permanent double or a 3 times multiplier, whatever. You know what I mean? Like things that keep stay in effect. I have a real hard time paying for something that's only effective for 3 races or whatever. Like the Forza VIP stuff or whatever. I think that I just
they changed that.
I know. Well, they changed it right now, yeah. But there's still the options for people who aren't VIP. They're still going to be paying for a short, limited time use, right? So, but yeah.
Oh, Forza 7 also has loot boxes.
Yeah. But for the initial release, if you got the VIP version, instead of being permanent double, you were only getting a couple loot crates essentially that doubled your XP.
And Forza's been really bad about season passes and things like that. Like,
well, and that's the other thing. When you think about it, remember online passes? Those went away. People didn't like it, and they went away. So there's a chance,
which is kind of amazing.
Yeah. So there's a chance for the loot crate stuff might not stick, but I think they are probably getting a lot of revenue from it. So the chances of it going away are pretty slim. There's too many fans who will say, "I want that cool set of armor or whatever, right?
Yeah, and the thing too is you can have just a few people that are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to offset the people that are spending like, oh, I'll just put $2 in, you know. And I mean, of course, they make money off the $2 here and there, but I don't know. It would be really interesting to see the breakdown of like the kind of people who spend money on Loot Crate demographics. If it really is a few people at the top that make up the majority of the purchases, or if it's kind of more even.
The one thing that they do need to add, if they do it, that a lot of the free-to-play games do, is like a VIP system where you get bonuses for spending the money too, though, right? I'm more inclined to drop money if it's something like that, where okay, fine, I'll buy a one-time item because going forward I'll get free stuff every day or something like that. That's just
like War Planet has like a VIP package to where you get like a bonus daily reward for 30 days or something. That's like $5.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm still not going to buy it out of protest, but
that type of thing makes a little more sense to me.
I like how this is just a big deal now or whatever, but like Ultimate Team has been doing it for years and nobody said a thing.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, is like, when did Ultimate Team start? That was like 2012 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
In FIFA, it's been around longer, yeah. I mean, right?
Yeah. 11 maybe?
But yeah, the
UTC and...
Yeah, it's definitely been quite a while. And I remember seeing that when I thought, it's like, man, people are now... not only are you spending your $60 a year for your roster update, now you're spending $200 a year on top of that so you can actually play online effectively for all your sports games. And if you like more than one sports game, well, I guess you're doing it twice. But people keep spending it, and I'm sure they are rolling in the money from Ultimate Team, just like Overwatch is rolling in the money from skin boxes.
Well, I remember, wasn't there a guy like he had stolen his dad's credit card and he racked up like $1,000 in charges in UTC, and then like Microsoft wouldn't refund it at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was reading something. I don't know if it was today or a couple days ago, but we'll get into this in a minute. But apparently, usually Apple, because I mean, obviously this started on mobile. This is where all of the free to play microtransaction that aren't so micro started, and apparently Apple was always very good at refunding. Like if your kid spent $5,000 on Clash of Clans, they just refund you basically, which has kind of kept them out of the press for those kind of things happening. So yeah,
that's probably why they do it.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because they're like, whatever. I mean, we'll just reverse it.
Well, for the one time that it's reported, if it's not reported, hey, free revenue.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure they probably have a deal with Clash of Clans. Like, here, we'll give you like $500, and you'll call it even. Right?
Here's the $5 from the $5,000 you would have got from it anyway.
Yeah, and we'll just not worry about it, because we all know it costs you nothing to give these people stuff that should have been in the game in the first place. And now, so the other thing is, a lot of people online, like not just random people, but like kind of, people, big YouTube people, kind of influential people in the media have been saying this is gambling, because it is. It can be addictive, and kids can get into it. Anyone can get into it.
But it's not gambling because you don't make
age
money.
Restriction.
Yeah, that's it. At least when you gamble, there's an infinitesimally small chance you'll earn money back.
Yeah. Hey, I went to Vegas and I came out up. I think I was up like $39. So I'm a big gambler myself. But now, I don't necessarily disagree that it's not gambling, but I do feel like it's kind of getting that way, like at least simulated gambling, something like that, which is actually on ESRB ratings. That's a category, simulated gambling. that these games don't have. And they don't see it as gambling or have any problem with it.
Oh, you mean the
which
regulatory committee made by game developers doesn't have a problem with something they're making money off of?
Exactly. It's not surprising, but and I'm sure the big people benefiting from all of the loot box sales probably have some influence on that committee as well. But yeah, but people are saying no, like you need to indicate in some way that this is like, hey, this game has loot boxes. If you spend money on it, you're not guaranteed to get what you want or win anything. And I agree with that. And in China, I guess, I didn't look super deep into China, but what the Chinese government has said is like, yeah, this is close enough to gambling that you need to release the odds of what your chances of winning are.
Yeah, they do.
Which
they do have odds.
Yeah, which seems very reasonable.
Yeah,
because if you see that your odds of getting that, well, and the other thing too is keep in mind, games like Counter-Strike, there is a market for those loot box items. I mean, there are items from loot boxes that are like multiple $1,000s that you can sell on Steam for cash.
Well, isn't that like your Rune? What's that game you played a lot when you were a kid?
RuneScape?
Yeah. Don't they do that for that stuff too?
No, Diablo 3 had a real money auction house.
Yeah, they ended up taking some of that down, right? Because it was
they
so
did.
Much...
They got rid of it. Yeah. Which I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, if you're gonna have a kind of a pay to win scheme, I feel like that's the way to do it, because it's still, you just pay for what you want and it's player driven.
You know what my favorite is? How in like the auction houses and like the Ultimate Team, how EA takes a cut of your money that their currency that they just made.
That's not real currency.
No, but they take like a cut of it or whatever. So like if you sell like an Ultimate Team card for like 1,000 like whatever what is it, Ultimate Team points or whatever?
I don't know. I haven't played any of them.
They take like 10% or like 100 as like a transaction fee.
Commission.
Yeah.
Their transaction fee of their fake money for their fake players on their server.
Yes.
So you can buy more sports ball coins.
But you can buy sports ball coins with real money if you need them, and you just can't play the game in time. So
yeah,
and that's the thing. Like,
and if you're boosting sports ball coins, we'll ban you from the game.
Of course, we don't want you doing that.
No.
You can't boost them, but
you might get them fast enough.
You can pay for them,
not have to spend money. Yeah. I think that makes sense in the case of like they probably took like 10% or something, and I think Valve is similar with the real money for skins thing where they take a percentage, which makes sense because they're still making money from those transactions, but the people selling and producing those items are still making most of the money. But I mean, if Blizzard takes 10% of your transaction, whatever, you still made $100 on your sword. They get $10 for doing nothing to keep this there.
Well, I'm sure the Bethesda Creators Club, they're taking a cut too, right?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I don't know. That's still better than loot boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about gambling and odds and regulations?
I like the idea of the odds like they did in China, but again, China, Korea, those places, people are like falling over at the keyboard trying to earn enough points to get the box or whatever, right? But
yeah, do they really care about the odds?
Yeah.
Never tell me the odds. Can we have like more bad movie quotes like this?
Yeah, but I think that's something that they should maybe show a little more of is, hey, you're looking for this thing. Here's your chances of getting it, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's fine too if there's no way to spend real money on it. Sure, you don't have to declare the odds because that's just this is the game. But if you're saying, hey, here's $50, I want this skin, you should know that it's probably going to cost you $5,000 to get that skin. because the odds are very, very, very small.
Only $5,000? That's awesome.
What a steal.
Everybody's gonna say I miss microtransactions when I could just buy the thing I wanted.
Yeah. I know, it's like they got worse. Yeah. Like, you know, I mean, obviously this isn't the first time loot boxes have existed. Like, and Joe said, it's been in Ultimate Team forever. Well, not forever, for quite some time. But now it's getting to the point where, and even in Ultimate Team, it affected the gameplay, right?
Well, yeah, if you went up against an Ultimate Team that was all stacked with golds and you had like your one gold player and all bronze, you're just going to get owned.
Yeah, because like you buy the better players, right?
That's the whole point.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I mean, I never, you know, I don't know any sports ball games.
But it's like any leaderboard blocking. There's certain people that will go and do certain things just for literally bragging rights of, I'm the best. I have all this stuff, and that's all that matters. You know, it's like,
well, and that's how they're going to make their money, because that's the guy that's going to spend $5,000 every year to get the best Ultimate Team, or, you know, buy enough sports ball coins to buy it on the auction house or whatever. So, yeah, I encourage our listeners to not spend money on loot boxes, but I mean, you guys probably all knew that anyway.
Instead, use all that money on discounted games.
That's right.
Yes.
Buy them on sale.
Yeah.
There you go.
And popcorn. Yeah, so loot boxes, I hope they go away, but I think they're too profitable. I think they're here to stay.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit of feedback. Again, I'm not quite as organized as Fream in or soliciting feedback, but Fream did also post a status. So we have a few good ones here. We've talked about this before, but since we've got some fresh people on the podcast, we can cover it again. I think everyone knows my answer. But top favorite game soundtracks of all time. It was asked by Salzbar.
I actually have Halo Reach on part of my iPod like mix, so I occasionally get that, you know, played in. I like that one. I thought Reach was good. And then I have something of like the London Symphony Orchestra doing, you know, famous videos. So it has like from Halo 3, One Final Push. It's got Metal Gear Solid, that kind of stuff. But I think like the Halo for me, from an actual, like, I can listen to it and just say, you know, it's kind of good. It reminds me of it, at least in the same sense of like kind of listening to John Williams doing Star Wars stuff, right? Like, oh yeah, there was a lot of, that game was fun and it was a good soundtrack that could be listened to outside of the game, you know, repeatedly and not be completely old. There was a little more complex to it, but that's mine.
Nothing old, just new games.
Just that Halo Reach one, or maybe Halo 3. Everything else, no. I play everything now on mute. I don't know what anything sounds like.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about old games, like from the cartridge days.
Oh, I thought Reach was old now. It's like
I mean, I guess it depends on what your standard of old is, but yeah, I mean, it's been out for a while.
Going back that old to cartridge-based game, I'd almost have to say Final Fantasy, because I think everything else, it just got too repetitive. I mean, yeah, Super Mario Brothers has a thing, but can you honestly listen to the Super Mario Brothers like now? Like, it's like going back and listening to, you know, it's been 9 years and now I got to go back to listening to the Wiggles, and you're going, you know what? When you do listen to the same song over and over and over again, and it's only 45 seconds, it gets really repetitive.
Yeah. Actually thinking about that, all of my favorite retro soundtracks I think were from CD. I don't think there were any, maybe one. Of course, we're going back to my favorite games, Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim 2 had a fantastic soundtrack. The first one did too, but the second was much better. But that being said, the soundtrack was like twice as good on the CD versions, so still CD. How about you, Joe? What are your favorite soundtracks?
From like a classic game?
Well, I guess both classic and modern.
I mean,
Or
modern
multiple?
I mean, I gotta go like Halo. Just like I don't really pay attention, honestly. Like I know like Halo has like that like epic music, especially towards the end or whatever. But I mean, it's not really something. And when I was a kid, I used to just like play those like PS1 and like N64 wrestling games all the time. So
They didn't have the greatest soundtracks.
yeah,
I
you
don't
know,
play
like
any of them.
if you smell what the Rock is cooking. So
smells good.
I mean, I really don't know.
How about you?
Like all those like classic like timeless games or whatever. I never really played like Final Fantasy 15 is really the first Final Fantasy game I've actually like played for more than like an hour.
See, for me, it's more just games with licensed soundtracks. Like Burnout Revenge had an awesome soundtrack. It was perfect driving music. Had like Billy Talent and Bravery and Fall Out Boy and stuff. That like I would time my races. I would know when to turn based on what's going on in the soundtrack sometimes. Like, so for me, and even some of the Gran Turismo soundtracks. So music I would listen to when driving, but I can actually play in a driving game. Those were some of the ones for me. And then SSX Tricky had a great soundtrack too.
I was going to say, because you said that, it made me think back. Original Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
Yeah.
Yup, Superman.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if there was some, because it had like, did it have Police Truck by the Dead Kennedy? Because I was late high school 90s. It was, for me, Seattle 90s, grunge, and like 80s punk. So that, you know, the fact that it had some modern punk, but that it had Police Truck, that's a B-side, Dead Kennedys. And pretty, you know, so I was like, got to give respect to that. So I thought, yeah, like anything that had like, hey, this has good licensed punk music. So.
Yeah. I gotta add, I really liked it in the original Need for Speed Most Wanted. I really like that one as well.
Yeah, but I gotta. Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the original.
It probably varied by system too.
Oh, yeah. So no,
because it was on a lot of different systems.
Yeah. So there's Goldfinger, Dead Kennedys, Primus. Jerry was a race car driver. Yeah, that one's the Suicide Machines, New Girl, Suicidal Tendency. But you're sitting there going like, but is that really a soundtrack? Or it's like, dude, it's a mixtape of punk and
yeah, I know. It's but yeah. it made the game more enjoyable for me, I guess, was the thing, right?
I know, but then that's what I would have normally, because actually I remember playing like 8-bit, and when I would play 8-bit Nintendo games, I would even back when I was a kid, I would turn off the sound and I would just listen to CDs or tapes or whatever at the time. I would just, you know, kind of just listen to whatever kind of music I was into at the time, maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then play whatever. So maybe, yeah, that's when I started liking it. Yeah, when games started just putting in regular artists and not trying to do its own thing.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to, I've got different favorites for licensed soundtracks too, but I think my whole list of like top ones, especially that were memorable, are all original, like for the game. I guess I'll list it off since, I've done it. I think I've said it before, but I think my top 3 have to be 1, Sonic CD, one of the best soundtracks ever. 2, Tetris for CDI. And 3 is... I'm not going to pick 3 because I can't pick 3.
Night Trap?
Night Trap had like one song, didn't it?
Is that coming out?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything on it. It was supposed to come out like 2 weeks after the PS4 version, and it's gone silent, so I don't know.
How about LA
I have
Noire?
the PS4 version. Is that coming out?
LA Noire? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. That would be a cool game if there was a remaster of. Especially on Xbox One.
Well, they're supposed to be, right?
Is it coming out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they announced it.
Yeah, announced. What's it called? They're 2 different things.
Yeah, well, it's Rockstar. They'll do it, right? But, yeah.
Still waiting for Crackdown 3.
Yeah, that's true. That game is vaporware. It is. I mean, how many times has Crackdown 3 been delayed?
Yeah.
Like, it's been delayed for like 4 years. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. We'll see.
It's Crackdown bound.
Our...
Like scale bound.
Oh, yeah. That was another one. Why did they cancel that?
I think every time I saw it, they were trying to add features to it still. And try to keep it. Yeah, I think they overextended themselves because they're like somebody, in a PAX panel suggested, "Hey, what if you could just fly anywhere on your dragon when you're doing that?" And okay, and then they suddenly realized that opened things up to other issues and
opens everything up to other things.
And then they tried to do the co-op stuff too, right? The co-op drop-in boss battle stuff and everything. I think if they just kind of scaled it back to a single player experience and maybe focus on that other stuff after the fact, it might have worked out better for them.
Yeah. So let's see. What else do we have? So Saucy Slingo asks us, if you could add Xbox achievements, which would add to your current Gamerscore, so linking the systems to any console, which one would it be?
Ever?
What?
He didn't specify, so I would assume so. So we can go way back before make this a possibility for the impossible.
I would almost say Atari, but then you're like, wait, no, they did that. It was called Game Room. Never mind. NES. But though actually, I did technically get a Super NES today. One of the Super NES classics. They had them at the Target. So one of my sons or scouting friends picked it up for me, knowing because he bought it on launch day, and I was like. My wife was like, "Oh, that's great. Damien doesn't have one yet." I'm like, I said they're at Target today. And he's like, "Oh, they had one available, so I bought it for you." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I got to pay you for that." But I would do this. I think the Super NES games would. I mean, I like the NES games, but I think the Super NES had more where I'd want to go back and replay them to get achievements. Like in Super Mario World, I like Super Mario World more now than Super Mario 1, 2, or 3. Or should I say Doki Doki Panic? So I think Super NES, I would like that to go back and link to game achievements.
Yeah, I think those games have a lot more depth than a lot of the NES games too. Like there are more things that you could have achievements for, that kind of meaningful achievements for.
Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. I mean, there's some great, epic games in there. I mean, not to say they weren't for the NES, but I don't know. I think the Super NES was when they started becoming a little more timeless. Just me.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the original Xbox.
That might happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah. No, I don't think it's gonna happen. They seem pretty dead set on I guess they would have to reprogram the whole game just to add actual ones in.
See, it's interesting though because I started digging on how PlayStation does it. Mm-hmm. And they had a really neat way of doing it without having to reprogram the whole game. And it reads your save games. So you can only tie achievements to things that the save game tracks. But anything that the save game tracks, you can tie an achievement to without having to do anything extra. You just say, check your save game. If value X equals Y, unlock the achievement. Which I think, obviously they're not going to be as good of achievements as there are in other systems, but I feel like that's a pretty good compromise and pretty doable. Because
I would even be fine if they were like the Neo Geo games or whatever.
Where it's just gets
a
score
they're just that basic.
Whatever.
Play the game for
something.
Well, I think it was either Phil Spencer or Mike Ybarra or one of those guys where they were talking about doing it. And if they did without having to repatch the whole game or the way that they were explaining it, they would have to do it play for X amount of hours, which they said they didn't want to do.
Because you could do that in the animation layer,
I don't
right?
think. Yeah. And that would just be, okay, you just get these games, you idle them and get free Gamerscore, which...
I would play some of them.
I probably would too, but I would also just idle everything to get the free points. But because it was interesting, I found that by reading about a developer who was porting one of the PS2 games to the PS4 and putting trophies in, and they wanted to do a beat the game without dying achievement or trophy, and they managed to do it just using the save game with some kind of hackery, which is super impressive. So I mean, you can still do fun things with, I mean, it depends on what's saved, obviously, or the game, but I don't know. I think it, well, I mean, of course, I think it would be worth it for Xbox to implement the same kind of system because, you know, we're achievement people. Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like, you know, I'm not, obviously I don't know how to program games, so I don't know how simple it is, but it seems like that's a pretty easy way to implement achievements and have achievements, or at least the option of achievements, even if they weren't mandatory.
It's basically taking the cloud save system they already were using and porting it to the emulation layer, right? Because they were already reading saves to figure out achievements in the new stuff. So
yeah, and they would have to have cloud saves anyway, because I'm sure it's going to work the same way as the 360 emulation does. I mean, it may be the system probably doesn't think it's a cloud save, but or like the Xbox emulator probably doesn't think it's a cloud save, but it obviously would be. Yeah, so
for me, I think I would go with just old PC games. I would love to play Bard's Tale and Might and Magic and the old Elder Scroll games and actually get achievements for them. Does that count?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because I've also been looking lately, like the list is growing and growing of old PC, like particularly like adventure kind of games that were from that real kind of golden age of terrible graphics and amazing storytelling, that I've just been really looking at and wanting to play. Like, I've tried a couple of times to go through System Shock, but now I'm at the point where I'm just going to have to start over, and I'm just going to have to be like, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm just going to play this to completion and get through it. Because it's old and clunky, but it's still a cool game. And it's really, really impressive for the time, given how super old it is.
And if you could get achievements for it, you'd be more likely to sit down and do it.
Oh, yeah. If I could get achievements for it, it would have been play already. I would have completed it.
Aren't they redoing that?
They are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but without a remake, like you could actually just go back and replay the old games in their crappy glory.
And yeah, exactly. And the new one is not a it's not like a perfect remake. It's kind of a reimagining if it were a modern game. So I mean, like the story is the same, the idea is the same, but the gameplay and things like that are kind of brought up to speed for a modern game. Because I mean, so the original System Shock didn't even have mouse look. You had to drag a slider up and down to look up and down. Like
gross.
It's old. Now the PC, the new PC version has an option to turn on mouse look, so you don't actually have to drag the slider. But if you were playing that game, like just as is original, that's how you have to look around, is drag a slider up and down, which is just brutal. And I mean, it's still clunky, but I mean, it's also from like 1992 or something. So it's been around for a long time. And I just saw actually last weekend I watched the original Blade Runner, which I'd never seen, and then I saw the new one. And there's also apparently a very, very good adventure game from like 90s, like early 90s, that is kind of its own standalone story. I'm like, man, that'd be kind of cool to play that too. But again, no achievements, and it's got 13 endings. So,
ew.
Yeah. I know, I'd probably play once or twice and then look at the rest of them on YouTube, but that's a lot. I mean, that's pretty in depth. And there's a few others too, like same thing, but I feel like those old PC games too, none of them are short. They're all like like 20 plus hour commitments.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, but that's 20 hours of achievements. It's a lot of achievements. So with that, we're on a little bit of a time constraint tonight, so it's probably going to be a little bit shorter show than usual. So we already lost Damien. He had to go tend to Brielle, which is too bad. We should have had this discussion earlier while he was here, because tonight we wanted to talk about collecting games, because we've got Joe on the show, and Damien has been collecting games for a very long time. But he doesn't care about modern games, where myself and Joe both very much enjoy modern games. And then we have Steven, who doesn't care about collecting games.
Other than digitally on my tag.
Yeah, but you also import a lot of rare games, too. So
yeah, I mean, like I've always said I collect, but I collect the completion, and that's it. I have the...
Yeah, you don't collect the physical media like we do.
Exactly.
How many games do you have on your ready-to-install list?
I just tweeted a picture of that. I don't remember. Hold on, let me check it. Because I combined that with my physical list, and I mean it's a pretty extensive. Hold on one sec. You guys can keep.
I hide them when I finish them, so I don't even know.
See, I don't hide them because they keep adding DLC.
I don't hide mine either.
No, because of the DLC, I don't want to not have it there.
Well, you can always look
I know,
them up, right?
I have.
You can unhide everything too. There's some command, but then you have to unhide everything.
Yeah, I've got 326 installed on my console right now, and 689 ready to install.
See, I was expecting it to be more, but I guess there aren't that many digital games.
Well, and I still have a fair number of one discs, right? Like, so I do still have one in my collection.
Do you tend to get your games physical if possible?
No, it's more mainly cost driven, or if there's going to be multiplayer driven. Because if it's multiplayer, I'm better off getting it digitally, because that's 2, right?
Yeah.
But if I can get it, for trading credit, if I'm trading great games in, which is what I do with the ones that aren't rare enough to sell, I still put that credit towards a pre-order, and I get a bonus bump for it, and I get the physical copy cheaper that way, right? So it really depends on the bonuses and things like that, which way I get the game. More so than my preference.
Has anywhere in Canada started doing the 20% off new games thing yet?
Like Prime or something? Or like
Best
the Best
Buy
Rewards?
and Amazon? I mean, because Best Buy has the Gamers Club Unlocked. It's $30 for 2-year membership, and it gives you 20% off all your new games. And then Amazon Prime does 20% off.
Pre-orders now.
Is it only pre-orders now?
It's only pre-orders, and they cut collector's editions out of it.
Oh, so Best Buy is still way better than anywhere else.
Yeah, and Walmart has been super aggressive lately with their selling of like pre-orders and stuff like that. Like some of them are even cheaper than like with a GCU or like the Amazon pre-order. Yeah, they've been really aggressive lately.
I don't like to buy anything at Walmart. Not that I buy many new games lately anyway, but
no, their website is terrible. It's so outdated.
I just don't like Walmart as a company. I think I said this last week as well, because I had to go there to buy Oreo O's. It's the only place I can get Oreo O's, so I had to go to Walmart.
Oh, did you see there's mystery Oreos now, where you have to guess the cream flavor?
There are too many Oreo flavors. It's ridiculous. It's getting out of hand.
I just bought the cookie butter ones.
What is cookie butter?
I assume it's like peanut butter, but instead of peanuts, they used cookies. They're really good. But
so it's cookie flavored filling inside of cookies.
Yeah, they're the graham cracker cookies, I guess. So.
Oh, okay.
They're really good. I really like them.
It's getting out of hand, this Oreo thing. There's too many Oreos.
Yeah.
Oh, the Pop Rock ones were gross.
Too many Oreos.
They had Pop Rock ones for the 4th of July. It's like, ooh, it's like fireworks in your mouth.
Saw those. I think I saw someone had those, I think. Anyway, so we want to talk about collecting. We weren't really sure what we're going to talk about quite yet, but I mean, we've already gone over the cheapest places for our listeners to buy new games. Walmart and Best Buy. Usually. So I guess let's start out. What's the most you've paid for a game on Xbox?
The BioShock Russian cost me a ton.
Yeah, me too. That's my top one.
It was a couple hundred. Probably close to 200. But I got 2 copies in the collector's edition for one of them. But I had to use this Russian money order service to get this guy.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, they don't have Western Union. They don't have PayPal. They didn't have anything at the time, right? So I had to wire money to a guy in Russia.
Right when it came out?
Yeah, I got it on release. So I had to wire money to a guy in Russia and stuff, and
hope he actually.
Yeah, it was.
I am so sorry. Because one of my buddies, his wife has a relative that lives in Russia, so we paid cost plus shipping for those, and they were super cheap. So my bad. I think I paid $40 for the BioShock and $50 for the Mafia.
Yeah. See, I thought I could get a line on Mafia because it's 2K Czech that does the games, and my wife's family is Czech. So we thought we could try to find somebody there to go to a store and pick it up or something, and it's difficult explaiking what you want to people too.
Yeah.
In another language.
Why do you want this?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's so why do you want this version?
Well, and even though they're a Czech company, 2K Czech, the people there aren't playing those games as much either, right? So it's I need you to get the Czech version, not just the US one that's getting sold there or something.
Yeah,
so.
And that's what I've heard about getting games in Korea too. I mean, I don't know for sure that this is always the case, but it seems like even if you know someone's going to Korea and you say, hey, I want BioShock or whatever, it's often very hard to find any place that's going to sell it. So even when you're there, it's hard to find. I mean, especially because Xbox's presence there, I'm sure, is zero.
Well, one of the trips when we went over there, I blew a power supply on my 360.
To Korea?
No, sorry, in Czech Republic. And
okay.
I had to go. I basically wanted to go buy an Xbox there because I'll just get another PAL box and have a power supply out of it that works with their plugs, right?
Yeah.
And because I was using adapters and converters, and it just actually kept tripping the circuit breaker.
I never trust those.
I know.
Not that I've ever had to use them, but I've heard of way too many of them blowing up.
So anyway, just finding a place to buy an Xbox was really hard while I was there. Mind you, it's a fairly small town that they live in, but it's not as easy to get gaming stuff, at least in Czech Republic, compared to here.
Yeah, because I mean, here we've got just Amazon and GameStop and everywhere. Yeah. But so Joe, what is your most expensive game that you've
I have
had to
two.
buy?
There's only 2 that I've ever spent over $100 for importing one, for an import.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty Warriors Strike Force
Chinese.
China. Yep. I actually won one on eBay a really long time ago, and it cost me $39. And the that sold it to me put the Japanese disc in the Chinese case.
Oh.
And I didn't notice for probably 4 years. And I made a tag, and I was gonna put all my games on the card. And then I put it, I was going in alphabetical order, and then I got to D for Dynasty, and I put in the Japanese, or I put in the Chinese one first, and then I put in the Japanese one, and I saw it wasn't a new title
a
update,
new entry on your list.
A new list. And then I started trying to figure out, I'm oh, what's going on here? Why are there only 3 versions and not 4? And that was why.
And then you had to pay big bucks for the replacement.
I had to find someone that had an extra one, and I don't remember who I bought it from. But someone on TA sold it to me. I don't remember who. And my other one is probably Moochie Moochie Pork and Pink Sweets.
Why is that game so expensive?
I don't. They did a really small run the first time. And then, it sold out. And then, I guess people wanted it, so they did a second run. And for, when they do the Cave
Platinum
Choice hits or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do the alternate cover art, and then the cover art on that is, super tiny, or whatever. Or it's, it's shrunken down, and there's, terrible, wording around it. they did a second version of that, and the second version was like $34.90 on PlayAsia or $39.90 or something like that, and those sold out super quickly as well. And like even the second print versions go for like over $100 now.
Yeah, because I've never seen that one ever under 100. Not that I've really been trying to find it, but I just know that's kind of one of those weird overpriced games. Yeah, my BioShock 2 Russia was, I want to say it was 120, which was a good deal at the time.
I mean, I recouped some costs because I bought 2 and resold 1, right? So.
Oh yeah, and I actually bought a sealed copy of it later, and it was like 30, just because I just wanted a sealed copy, so I bought it because it was a good price, and it was like brand new, not like been sitting on a shelf for 5 years, brand new. So I was pretty happy with that. So I guess the other thing too is, Joe, you don't like sealed games very much, right? You don't care.
No, because I mean, like, I have 2 sealed games right now. Well, a lot of my Xbox One games I haven't really been opening lately, just because I've been lazy. But I have 2 sealed games, and it's actually the Kick-Ass 2 and the Bloodbath that you got me.
Oh yeah, which are kind of a special. I don't think I've ever talked about those on the podcast before, but kind of a special piece of few collections. They weren't ever officially released on disc. So I don't know what happened, but
some got out.
Yeah, some got out from somewhere, and I don't know how, because, well, they were supposed to release, like, they were delayed for like a year or something. Then the digital versions came out on the European marketplace for like outrageous, what are they, 30 euros or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Which just seemed outrageous, but I mean...
Yeah, considering that Kick-Ass game is all of like, what, like an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah, I think Bloodbath is only
awful.
like 3 or 4 hours too. And then they came out, and still the company was silent, and they were still supposed to have a physical release. And I had seen one physical release of Bloodbath. I assumed it was a review copy or something, or like a prototype or something, on Amazon UK, and it was like £200, which is obviously ridiculous, but if it's the only copy that exists...
I remember you sent me that too, and I was
it becomes like, a little bit less ridiculous. But yeah, like even you were like,
I gotta buy it.
Like that's, that's a lot of money. So, and then that disappeared. I don't know what happened to that. I never saw it again. I never heard about it again for, I want to say, almost a year. And then one day, because I used to check a couple of times a week, I would check eBay, I would check Amazon in like 4 different countries, and see the crazy things we do for collecting things. It's ridiculous. And then one day I just decided, because I had stopped checking, then one day I decided to just check at them, and I found one. I found a copy of Bloodbath, and I instantly bought it because it was like 30 euros. It's like, yeah, of course I'm going to buy it. And it was the only one, so I assumed that was it. Like, this one copy popped up again. And then I started looking on all the other sites, and I found some more copies on Amazon, and they were also cheap. But there were only a few of them. There were only maybe 4 or 5 copies from a couple of different sellers. So I don't know what happened with those games. And a few more surfaced after that, like other very small batches. But it almost seemed like it was just one box that was distributed to a few resellers in Spain, and that was it. And then I don't know.
It's like they were stuck in a warehouse.
Fell off
and
the back of a truck.
Well, yeah. I mean, it almost seems like they fell off the back of a truck, or like just the beginning of distributing orders or something, and then they only had one box, and that was it. Like, it's almost like it was a demo run or something. Or maybe there's another 10,000 copies of each of them sitting in a warehouse in Spain somewhere. But as far as I know, the company that made the games is no longer around. And neither of the games. They were also, there was another game that was available for pre-order. We were actually just talking about this before the show, called Street Rod. It was like a hot rod racing game or something, and that just disappeared. Pre-orders disappeared. I don't know what happened to that. I mean, I guess the company probably just went bankrupt, but yeah, so that's kind of those are probably my favorite thing in my collection, are those two games. Sealed. Those are going to stay sealed forever. I don't know. What are your favorite collection pieces? I guess you too, Steven, if you have a thing you like to collect or achievement, maybe an achievement you like to collect. I don't know.
No, I'm good. You guys go ahead.
I consistently look for a copy of NBA Elite 11 for 360.
Yes. We should talk about that as well. Anyway.
Because there's PS3 copies out there in the wild. I've never seen a 360 one, though.
Well, did you see the one that surfaced recently?
Yeah.
I'm using surface very loosely here. The one that had one blurry picture and was allegedly sealed. No, there were two. It was a lot of 5. There were 3 PS3 copies. 2 of them were sealed. One of them was not. But there was no picture of the open case.
Yeah, and then one has an ESRB sticker on it, and the other has a Peggy logo on
Peggy,
it.
and then, well, the same guy listed the same thing again, but it had a side view, and the seal was a home seal. You could tell because it had the
crinkled part
seam on it. Yeah, and which no official seal has that. So, and one of the auctions sold for $20,000. I couldn't believe, how would you, I don't know, I guess you just have too much money, but these were very obviously fake. 2 360 copies, 3 PS3. Well, and the other thing too is the PS3 copies that have sold have all sold for, I think, more than $20,000, because as far as I know, there's only 3 of them. There's probably more.
I saw one on eBay a couple of years ago. It sold for $800.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So they've come down because when they first surfaced, they were going for between 10 and 30,000 every time. But they didn't move very often. They would only, maybe one would pop up a year, and it was usually the same people. I think there weren't ever any new ones, but.
I want a 360 copy of it, so badly.
Yeah, I think it exists.
It has to. They canceled that game a week and a half before it came out.
Yeah, somebody took one home.
Yeah.
Or sold one early or whatever. Because, you always see a shop somewhere selling it early. Just the little...
Yeah.
A little... Especially, it was long enough ago that kind of smaller stores would have still existed. More than they do now, I want to say.
Well, what Video Games New York might have gotten it, at the time. They usually get a couple new copies of, new games, maybe a week early. Mm-hmm. So they might have had, 1 or 2, and then, some, obscure collector bought it or something like that, and then...
Yeah, because if you only got 1 or 2 copies, you're probably not going to send it back either. It's not like GameStop where they're going to give you the do not sell this memo. Yeah. I don't know, maybe you would. I guess it depends. I guess it depends on...
maybe they fine you some over-exorbitant amount of money if you let one go.
Because, when I worked at Staples, there would be a few copies of new games. Nobody ever bought them. Except for Borderlands 2. That was the only game that ever sold out when I worked there. And that was because they didn't print enough of them. And it was the only place in town. Yeah, it was and people were calling for them all day too, because that was the last place where people were going. It was maybe Staples has it. It's we had 1 copy this morning and it sold immediately. But games would come in a week and a half early, but we couldn't sell them because in the system they were $5,000. So if you would ring one up at the till, it would come up as $5,000. So even the employees couldn't. I mean, you could steal one, I guess, but nobody, as far as I know, nobody ever did. But yeah, I mean, they come in, like a week early, so it would be reasonable if a place like that was going to get it, they would have had it. Because that'd be crazy. Because it's got achievements too that are live and work. I don't think the servers would be up, but so no completions, but you could pop an achievement in it. And then there's my holy grail that I can thank Warren for sending me on an infinite chase for, that I'll never, ever, probably never, ever finish, is Speak Out English, which was Speak Out English. It's a...
You have that?
Oh, no, I wish I had that.
Oh.
I've been trying to find that for like 2 years. Because I always kind of thought it existed. Like, I thought it was plausible that it existed. But then I don't even remember what it was that set me off. But Warren was the one who, he just made some comment once. And I'm like, great. I just accepted that it doesn't exist. And now you throw this into the mix. And now I'm convinced it exists. Because it does exist in some form. I don't know if it exists in retail packaging, but it definitely exists.
Somewhere.
That game exists.
Well,
there's
what's it called too?
There's
Tale of Despero?
I haven't heard of that one.
The mouse movie, right? Is it a movie tie-in?
Yeah, that was that mouse, like, Pixar-esque movie or whatever, but I don't think it was Pixar. It was like DreamWorks. There's an achievement list for it, but it got canned, and there were a couple people that had started it or probably, like, ripped a copy of it.
Yeah, because with Speak Out English, what I suspect, based on a lot of digging, that there are 2 copies. There's one in Seattle from the Microsoft campus.
Mm-hmm.
At least I assume that's where it's from. I mean, it makes sense. And another copy in France, probably from some kind of Xbox affiliated place in France. Don't know of any in Korea, which is where it was developed. I mean, this is a game. Speak Out English is a game, a Korean game made by the same people as Superstar Karaoke to teach English. So obviously for English speaking people, it was a very easy game. Very easy completion because all 5 people on TA that are tracked that have it have completed it. So it is 100% completion, 100% completion ratio. And yeah, I'm convinced it exists. It might be a disc that was sent to a factory or something to press it. Maybe it was a demo, but it's complete. It's also been shown at a convention in Korea. So a maybe not complete, but very, very far along version of the game was shown. And there are pictures from that. And those are the only pictures that I know of, other than the screenshots on the marketplace page, that have anything about the game at all. I also love the cover. So I really, really hope that one day the game surfaces in its full, excellent retail packaging, because the cover is like half the reason I want the game. But that is my game that I will never get. I'm convinced.
Did I show you that one that one person found at that garage sale? That one that got reviewed? It was like a review copy?
The pirate game?
Yeah.
It was, the flea market for $3.
Yeah.
It was sealed.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. It's made by the same people that published BioShock 2 Russia. But it was like done. Like the game appears to be basically done.
They ran into a legal issue, I think, with it.
Yeah.
Here we go. I have a picture of it. It's
We'll
Captain
put that in the
Blood.
show notes. Yeah, that's what it was. No achievement list though, surprisingly. It is in like, it's obviously not final retail packaging, but basically the seal is home sealed on the picture, but it's in like a green case and everything, and has like proper cover art, and I mean
it says preview on
like
it.
it looks like a factory pressed disc and case and everything. And and that one exists. It's been
Sold.
It wasn't. It was archived. Somebody apparently ripped it and preserved it, but the guy doesn't want to release it because of, legal issues.
Can't really blame him.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because that's a really cool find. I mean, not that most people could play it anyway because copy protection, but
yeah. Well, I think you need a development kit too. On the back of it says this product is not for resale, for Xbox 360 debug test kit use only.
Oh, maybe then. I didn't think it would be. So yeah, I guess it wasn't final. Yeah, it would have been a final game. But yeah, like what a cool find. It's our little collecting chat. I guess we'll wrap up because we're a little bit over our time for this week. If you like our collecting chat, we can do another one that's more structured and planned some other time. So let us know in the chat or on Twitter or whatever other place you want to talk to us. Tell us if you liked it. Because I like talking about collecting and physical games. But nobody likes that anymore.
I'm not opposed.
This physical media is dying.
It is nice not to have to go grab a disc when I want to play a game.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you.
Agree with
the
you
convenience factor.
Because when the games are free, I'll play the digital version. But at the same time, there's nothing like that.
Holding the disc, I know, I get you.
Holding the disc and that new game smell that unfortunately almost doesn't exist because a lot of it comes from the manuals that basically don't exist anymore.
Honestly, sometimes, like when things are on sale, I think about buying them digitally just so I don't have to get up. If we're being real honest.
I will sometimes buy a game digitally if I have a sealed copy of the game, just so I don't have to open the sealed copy. I recently did that with Painkiller, because it was like, I wanted a second boosting copy anyway, and with a digital copy I can have two, and it was like $2. I was like, yeah, I'll keep it sealed for $2. I'll keep it sealed and get a boosting copy. But yeah, that new game smell is going to be lost one day. Anyway, so that just about wraps it up this week. I will move into Knobs and Discos after signing these guys out. I'd like to thank you guys both for joining me this week in this very monotone episode. Not so rainy though. We had a good chat, not too much rain. We had a good time. So Joe, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you? Talk about collecting or any of the good stuff.
On Twitter, I am at CollKidJoe XBL.
And how about you, Steven? Where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Twitter at Smrnov, and potentially coming soon to a streaming platform near you. So more to come on that.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Okay. We should talk about
teaser
that.
Teaser for next time.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Just like I keep talking about coming soon, Oreo O's. Just wait. It'll get there one day.
You got to make sure that you put the XBL after my my Twitter handle, because some guy likes to tweet LeBron James from mine. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you go to like at CollKidJoe, no, I don't know who he is. No, it's like his name is like Joe Echevarria or something like that, and he has the CollKidJoe Twitter handle, and he like tweeted like Kim Kardashian and LeBron James. He's like, "Oh, hey, beautiful, how you doing today?"
Oh,
or
he
something
tweets
like that.
to them.
Yeah, he hasn't tweeted in like 8 years, and I'm like, just give me the Twitter handle. I want it.
That's like Randy2727 on MySpace. That's the only place I couldn't get it that I wanted it, and it's inactive for years.
Isn't that the worst?
It is. It is the worst. Anyway, with that, thank you both for joining me.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate it. We're just about ready to wrap up the show. I wanted to do a community roundup here in the midst of the show before I sign off on everything because, I told you I'd be paying out some prizes, and I've got them. Before we get there, though, I want to talk about some of the contests that we have going on like I normally do. We have the GTASC still going on. Of course, it's a year-long contest, so it's always going to be going on. Nothing has changed. We're down to 30 individuals, still tracking Oriole 2682 and Redemption Denied, so good luck on those. And we have 18 teams left, and one of our representatives, Big Willie 4.0, that's Miserly Pluto's team, still alive, so awesome work into period 40. And we also have finished the general pool of the UHH3. So week 4 has completed, and we moved into knockout rounds. So it's already a day into knockout rounds. I've got some news on that, but let's recap week 4 here. We had those community matchups that we were talking about. So I'm going to go through quick recap of those. Lord Chabello and Ted's Bears, pair of puddings matchup. They got 0-0, and another pudding himself, Mighty Mango, ends up with 0. Loses to Mr. Grandstaff. My matchup was a pudding. Because Oriole is doing other things than paying attention to UHH, so I won 7-0. We had a nice Buck Marley beating Eurydace 5-1, and CS Geek Squad beating Spanky and Spronkle 10-6. In 2 of the very close matches, we had NBA Kirkland beating Carnage 11-9, and probably the best matchup we've had so far, so congrats on this one, Stushnikin versus Shababble. That actually ended in an 18-18 tie, yet Shababble gets it with the tiebreaker for having that higher ratio achievement, so nice work on that one. That was fun to watch. There was some real serious action coming up on Sunday there, so well done. The elimination round. So I've got three head-to-heads that we kind of community members, or at least prominent TAers that I'll mention. But as far as the others who I know our listeners are on my friends list, and I'll mention it again here. If you want to be tracked and put on my friends list, send me a friend request, let me know, and I'll keep an eye on you. You also probably should send me a message. I'm getting a ton of new friend requests, and so if I don't talk to you guys in the Discord chat, then I probably don't know you that well yet, so I pass over your name. So if you want to come chat us up over at Discord, you can come to my personal Discord channel, discord.me/Freamhole, and that's spelled FREAMWHOLE. That's where the community comes chats. We've got a UHH sub channel there that is very busy talking about everything that's going on, trying to set up some sessions to knock these things off. So of the general listeners who are in the Discord, who I talk to on a regular basis, we've got CS Geek Squad, Crunchflake, Keith 271179, Beast Middle, Mark B, Skeptical Mario, and Eliphatet 77. So those guys, they've got matchups in the elimination round, so good luck to those. As far as we've got 3 matchups who are predominant members that I know. We've got What the Fug versus Chewy on Ice. Chewy on Ice is beating Fug already 4-0. So good luck to Fug on that one. We've got Mr. Grandstaff versus Weasel Pizza, and Mr. Grandstaff's up 6-0 in that one. And then our favorite, probably the highest ranked member, Chin Doctor, is going up against Angel SK, also a listener of the show. That one, one day in, is already 14-13 in favor of Angel SK. So that one's going down. I guess who's hitting 21st? I haven't even looked at their lists yet, but that is impressive for one day. I know Chin Doctor likes to get an early start, and my guess is Angel knew that, and so she needed to be moving as well. So it'll be fun to track these as far as where they end up going for the elimination round. This is This is the exciting part of the contest here. There's only 256 individuals who made that mark. As far as the hosts go, we've got 5 kind of hosts that we're tracking here. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. We had Planting 42, 955th place. He earned 10 achievements and 1 head-to-head win. Just beating him out barely was Spazpole in 905th place. He earned 14 achievements and 1 win. 1 extra achievement, but he had 2 wins, was ZZ Urban Spaceman. Of course, one of those wins was against me, so that was kind of annoying. 15 achievements with 2 wins. He was at 723rd place. So that leaves between me and Proulx. Who do you think got the top spot? Well, behind me is Proulx at 494th place. He earned 21 achievements and got 3 head-to-head wins. And the highest-ranked host, yes, it is yours truly. I'm actually pretty proud of this. I ended up with 33 achievements and 3 head-to-head wins. Of course, my loss came to ZZ Urban Spaceman. That was a great match. I didn't really have much competition from anybody else, but the 33 achievements was nice. Got the most of all the hosts. I ended at 359th place. So I'm pretty happy with that. I am really enjoying the UHH, and I tried to double dip and get a few more random to-do lists this last week, too. So when I'm back on the show next week, I can put that into my recap as well, because the same games keep popping up, so I'm just keep chipping away at them. As far as our other normal contests, the random to-do list is up for October. Our September winner with 15 achievements, a 3% chance of pulling down the prize, Shababble. So nice work, Shababble, on that one. Our community challenge for the month of October is in first-person shooters. So any achievement that you unlock in a first-person shooter gets you an entry into the pool. Our September challenge was sports. Is your whole life just sports? And this was a massive pool of contestants here, because I left it pretty wide open in terms of what counts as a sport. So we had 638 submissions. Our winner was Mitrialby. He had 78 entries, got a 12% chance of winning. So nice work on that. Keith, 271179, had the most. He had a 50-50 shot pretty much, because he unlocked like 300 some achievements. That is nuts. We did end up having 19 people in that one, so that was a nice turnout for that. Our gamer tag was back in September, Sea Monkey Powder. We had 18 entries for 162 submissions, and the winner with a 6% chance, the Tominator 177, new to the forums. Congratulations! Already a big winner. I hope you enjoy the show. Hope you enjoy being part of the chat and gaming with us. We actually played some Battleborn last week, so yeah, it was good to have you around. Hopefully, we'll see you again for this Battleborn session. October is a Mighty Mango, so unlock those achievements to get that taken care of. A couple last things here. The Mocas for October called Back and Forth, where you unlock your first achievement. This, whatever the Gamerscore value is a positive convoluted score. And then your second achievement subtracts the Gamerscore from your convoluted score. So if you had a 10 Gamerscore achievement and then earned a 5, that would be subtracting 5 from your 10, and you would be at 10. When then the third achievement would be an addition. So if it was 20, you'd be up to 25. And you go back and forth to see where you end up going. I think I misspoke on that one and said that it was golf score closest to 0. I've been corrected and said that it is as high as you can possibly go. So I think I'm at like 100 and something. I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place. I also want to award our Patreon giveaway here. We had a new patron, which is wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of the patron. We are so amazingly close to our next goal. I really appreciate all the support. If you our listeners want to donate financially, help us out any way you possibly can, that would be amazing. We expect nothing, but absolutely love the fact that we have so many amazing listeners who who would be willing to give us a few bucks a month. That every little bit helps so much. It helps keep these contests populated. It'll help pay for the prizes in some of the prizes for our Rocket League tournament, and it just helps us continue to support all of the endeavors we have, like Discord and make the show and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of that. Our winner this month actually is Sandy Vise. So she earns herself a code. Congratulations on that one. I don't think she's in our Discord chat. So just a pure listener and donator. Awesome. Thank you so much. The last couple things I want to mention in terms of our Discord is all the boosting groups that we have going on. We have a ton of ongoing sessions. I've mentioned this multiple times, but if you guys are at all interested, or even if you actually have games that you're interested in getting a group together to do some boosting, community boosting, let us know. Reach out. We love the feedback. We want to know what you guys are looking to play. We do have, we have some Destiny guys out there, a little bit of a Destiny crew. I'm not going to lie to you. Our clan is pretty much garbage in terms of getting any good loot out of it, but we certainly have gamers who are well entrenched in that and looking for games. So, you've got some players here who would love to play some Destiny 2 with everybody. We have some standing nights where we actually have a group session going together. One of our most popular ones is the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare group that meets on Thursday nights. I typically get there 10 p.m. Central. That is to play the 360 version of the game, although we are having our conversations in the Xbox One party chat. So, we got to have both consoles near you, or at least the ability to chat with us. It makes life super easy, especially when you want to call out things that you're trying to do, like, hey, I really need a scientist to eat as my chomper. That's pretty much where we're at right now. We've done most of the auxiliary stuff, so I think we're doing challenges. We'll probably move into gardens and graveyards here in the near future. We've pretty much got all of our gnome bomb wins and all that fun stuff. So moving on there, and again, you're welcome to jump in at any time. The more the merrier. We would love to be able to lock down a lobby when especially when we start getting to like Team Vanquish and things where there's actually a player count, and having to deal with randoms is kind of annoying. It's actually super annoying. If you're interested in just playing the one version, there's already a group going that is doing the one version. My 360 group will move to the Xbox One version when we're done. But the one version's already underway. Big L is doing that one. He beats a little early, like 2 hours earlier than I. Like 8 p.m. Central is usually when that crew gets started. Hell, you could do both if you want to do a nice 4-hour night of Plants vs. Zombies. You're more than welcome. So yeah, Plants vs. Zombies Thursday nights, Central Time, right? So technically if you're in Australia, that's Friday morning for you, or Friday afternoon, Friday Arvo. And then, sorry, UKers, but that's super crazy early for you. I don't expect you to stay up that early. So we do have, and most of our nights are around that same time, most of our gaming sessions, like our Halo boosting session on Tuesday nights. So if you got some things to do in Halo, I think Halo 4 should be wrapping up or wrapped up by now, which either leaves Halo 5 or Master Chief. So I don't know where they're going, but there's plenty to chew on with that Master Chief collection, going back to that. So there'll be lots to do there. We've got a standing Battleborn session on Wednesday nights. That's going to be a long grind, getting all those lore challenges, and we would absolutely love it if we could get 10 people one night so we can try and lock down a lobby and do all of the multiplayer boosting stuff where we can just kill each other. As of now, there's you got to deal with randoms. We've been playing bot battles just because we don't have enough to lock down a lobby, which is great. It's fun. You actually get to play for real instead of straight boosting. But if we could just get 1 or 2 nights where we can do some straight boosting and get that stuff taken care of, that'd be delightful. So if you have the game, it's dirt cheap all over the place. We'd love to have you on Wednesday nights for some Battleborn. Finally, I want to say we've got a Rocket League tournament coming up. So Stishnikin and Matriarch have sent me their rules. Registration is locked down, but if you're listening to this and are already registered, I have the rules set in my inbox. I need to review them, and we're going to get moving on picking a time to where you got to set up and get your games in. So I'm really excited about this. There will be prizes. So Z2Z will contribute some prizes to the pool. So good luck to everybody that's involved, and I hope I get some awesome people on my team because I need all the help I can get. Finally, we've been talking about doing some Borderlands, a little casual Sunday Borderlands. Probably going to have to wait until the end of UHH, at least from my standpoint, just because I'm really invested in the UHH right now. So, but that's not stopping anybody else from playing some Borderlands. If you're interested, I know there were a few community members who wanted to get something going. So there you have it, guys. That's going to do it for the show. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. You have all been great. I really hope, I hope you've enjoyed it. We absolutely love putting on this show for you guys. And hopefully get some more live shows coming up here in the near future. And just keep an eye out on Twitter. That's where we do most of our announcements, especially live shows. And it's connected to my TA friend, my comment, my friend feed thing. That'll tell me when I'm recording, if you got any questions. So if you want to follow me personally, that's at Freamhole, FREAMWHOLE. That's the same gamer tag that'll get you into the Discord chat, discord.me/Freamhole. And if you want to contact the show's Twitter handle is at ZZZEDTOZED, and the show's email contact@ZZ.com. We'd love if I'd mentioned patreon.com/Z2Z, all one word. If that's too much to ask, which, it's a huge ask, and again, I so appreciate everybody who does that. But if that's too much, then a rating or review on iTunes is fantastic. It's a wonderful free way to promote the show. And just simply telling your friends, right? If you guys are in the UHH just for fun section, these people might actually enjoy playing. And so when the just for fun section ends, you know what? We've got the random to-do list, and that can help scratch that itch just a little bit. So let your opponent know about the random to-do list, and there's never too late to sign up. We just signed up Kahuna 28 in mid-October. He gets a list, and it's a personal goals to just something to work on, tells you some games to play. I know so often we get that paralysis by our gaming collection. There's just too many games to play. Well, let the random to-do list tell you what to focus on, and you can pick one or two off that list and just say, hey, that's a great idea. I'm going to go back and play, Red Faction Armageddon or whatever. Who knows? You can always curate your list so you get fun stuff like, I'm going to play some more Ori and the Blind Forest because that game is freaking amazing. Whatever it is. So, I want to thank everybody who's made this show possible. Plantings, Damien, Crandy, Smrnov. I know Proulx wasn't on, but thank you for being part of the hosting crew here. And to all of you amazing listeners, my name has been Brandon. So, you achievement hunters, Gamerscore junkies out there, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next episode. See ya!